What's up, guys? Odin here, and today I have Moses, Psygib, Salas with me today. And you know when Moses is not splitting the Red Sea, he's splitting those cheeks in Quake Champions. And fun fact, he's also the technical advisor for the new Top Gun movie coming up. But you know, he's taken a minute out of his time to come with us, spend some time with us today, so that's pretty awesome. So Psygib, you're missing your aviators, but I forgive you.
Uh,
um,
gotta get
we're
them dry wash, you know.
Yeah, right. So it's not game day, so you actually don't need the aviators yet. But I think we
Yeah,
can start
yeah.
off pretty easy. How you doing? And where the hell did the name Psygib come from?
Doing pretty good today. It's actually my girlfriend's birthday, so it's gonna do the interview and then we're gonna go do some stuff. To figure that out.
Happy birthday!
Psygib. Yeah, yeah. So the name Psygib, it came from it's an old frag movie. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Three. It's that really old one.
I have not.
Um, okay, but it's a very it's just like a very simple, just very like try to make it like epic and all that, but it had a song in there which is called Psygib by Younger
Mm,
Brother, so I shortened that because that is my favorite frag movie.
that's a
So
cool name, actually, Psygib. I always think like, oh, you should be using Visor or something like that. Just you know, and it's
yeah,
Psygib, right? Jib, Gib, Hibe,
yeah,
Sibigibe. However,
yeah. Whatever you want, but the official way is Psygib, or as Dehang says, Psyjod.
side job door. All right. That's the inside joke. I'm gonna get crucified for that, aren't I? If I shit all over
If you
the
ruin
roof
Roof,
joke. Yeah.
probably, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not
I
in
mean,
the QPL. I'm not a professional Quake player, so
I mean,
forgive me.
I don't really like it that much either. How everybody uses it, so it's fine.
All right. Good stuff. Okay. So the next question here. We gotta talk about your style and personality, which is a favorite of mine because I really enjoy. First of all, it was like one of the best decisions ever to have the face cams introduced during the matches, and I mean, it's kind of funny to see some of the reactions sometimes of the players, but you coming up there
Chelsea.
with your aviators, you just chewing that gum, super aggressive, and got the bandana on. I mean, just you like that all the time? You go outside with your girlfriend, got the aviators, chewing some gum, or is that like this is Psygib needs to
Uh,
have some personality? Where'd that come from?
that's the game time, but the chewing gum, that's I've been doing that for a while. The aviators came because I won't even lie, like I was kind of nervous going into the to streaming and just like having people watch me like that. It felt kind of weird. Like, lands, I understand. You just go and like that's where you compete and like everybody's watching at all times, so I'm in
Sure.
that mindset. But I think it must have been Chain I was playing, right? And I think I remember he had that one week where he wore those big snow goggles,
Yeah.
and I was like, he's gonna do that again, but I gotta one up him. I gotta, throw the aviators on, and then I recently just bought a headband and I just threw it on too. Like I
It's
thought, why
awesome.
not?
I think last week, well, from the recording of this last week, I think he actually had the ski goggles on again,
Yeah, yeah,
playing, which was that's pretty cool. There should be some more personality. I think Quake definitely needs that. The personality is a big deal. So you really stand out, and it's really cool to watch you play. Awesome. So it's been a little bit of a running joke between you and I, where I'm always kind of ripping you, like the Top Gun, the Aviators. I'm 36 years old this year. It's a Top Gun joke. So this interview cannot go any further until I ask you when you're going to commission the Kenny Loggins theme.
uh, never.
All right, that was a good interview,
I,
Psygib. Thanks for chatting. Goodbye.
no, I'm gonna get my own theme one day.
You're gonna get
I'll get something better.
the danger zone. I just love that, especially the way Archer. I don't know if you're aware of that cartoon
Yeah, yeah,
Archer, where he's
I've
just
heard
like
it. Yeah.
danger zone all the time. It's good stuff.
Safe zone.
All
Yeah.
right, now, okay, let's get into Quake finally. So this particular season had another new map, Exile, which is at this point in the stage, we're basically in the last third of the stage, is finally getting voted more and more. But in the
Yeah.
beginning, and maybe right now, what are your overall thoughts of Exile? How do you think it fits into the QPL? How does it play? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Uh, I mean, I actually do kind of like it. It's not my favorite, but like I could play it for sure. Like I definitely like it more than Blood Run. That's a given.
Well, after 20
That's
years, I think anything's better than Blood Run, except for Koth. Uh, well, Koth is a good TDM map, but I mean,
whew, Koth. Anyway,
yeah, I have a headache now. I need some ibuprofen.
mm,
But
ibuprofen, Tylenol, everything.
I just really enjoyed Exile. It seems to be kind of a I don't like they had Deep Embrace, kind of close quarters, lots of action going on.
Yep.
Exile, kind of close quarters, lots of action going on. Do you prefer the smaller maps like this, or
Yeah, I do. I don't like maps that are too like I actually do like Corrupted Keep, but I don't at the same time the way the weapons are everywhere, like how they're split up. Like LG is just super hard to get, and rockets can be easy to lock down. I
sure?
don't like where it's just you kind of just sit in one spot and just keep on farming spawn kills. It's not my favorite, but I do enjoy the smaller maps that are like Deep Embrace. It's a fresh start, I guess.
I think Deep Embrace differentiates itself, or can still be a fun map because it still has a rail. And
And it's so
everything I say
open.
about Quake, grain of salt here, okay? I'm like a 1300 ELO player. I suck. Don't worry about it. But I mean, I always personally struggle playing against Soreleg on CK because no rail. And the air control movement, the spit area denial, it just seems like one of those maps where rough for me to get a foothold. So it's surprising, that CK is a map that you enjoy actually.
Well, for one, I was the first time I got rated, I was 1100 in QC. So that makes you feel better. And HMG
Yeah,
on that map,
HMG.
it's so good.
Sure. Yeah, the HMG, and I don't know how Zeniku, but he's like a nail gun professional. I can't hit shit with nail gun ever, but he's seems to be pretty solid with it. But yeah, it's cool. I think Exile is, I guess, with the new update here coming soon, maybe they'll fix the jump pads finally. Um, but that's turned out to be really interesting for a viewer, spectator, due to the ring outs that accidentally falling off the columns, going for small armor or whatever and whatnot. That's been really exciting from a spectator point of view, uh, and to actually kind of echo what you're saying about Blood Run. It really got old to watch people camp up there at Nailgun forever,
Oh
or the
my god, it
Blood
was
Pool down at Rail, just like okay. And
the
then
three
so
spots: rail telly, rocket telly, and then that nail gun. Just
yeah, so I mean, I was pretty happy to see it go too. And I think it's the first time in Quake history, or not, I shouldn't say the first time, but at least in Quake Champions, where you guys have a map pool where it's not based on any of the other old maps. Am I right?
yeah, I think so. Like it's fresh and new, and I like it.
That's good.
Shout
So
out
I
to
hope
Adam.
we keep moving in that way, I think. And it seems to be the medium to smaller maps might be a thing moving forward. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like
I gotta
medium.
say,
I don't
you're
think.
sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go.
There's a little delay here. My bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Not Skype.
Yeah,
I just think yeah, like the small and medium maps probably are better. The large ones are sometimes too easy to run on with the fast champs,
sure.
and like with the meta where it's just super rail heavy, kind of makes it I guess stale in my maybe not everybody's, but just sitting around and just shooting rails the entire time can get a little boring. Is all.
You think that maybe may have to do, for example, like Nyx has been like meta right out of the game, for example. So like
Um,
heavies and mediums are a bit more in vogue, I should say, meta, I suppose.
yeah, I still think right. I guess because they reduced the spawn time, so you can just like as a sore leg you die, then 2 seconds you're back in instead of three like it used to be. You kind of just keep overwhelming the person in control. It kind of and rail's the only thing that can really deal with the tanks too. So that's why I kind of developed that way.
Sure, it makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, like I mean, I've seen it on Deep Embrace, many times where it's a keel versus oh, what's a common pick, like a Doom versus Keel, or just anyway the Keel's on the map, and then he's got like half a stack. Oh, just kill me, and then you spawn with like 125 health and what is it, 100 armor and 5 pineapples if you
Yeah.
haven't been using them, and you're like, let's rush with the starting shotgun now, and it seems to be, I don't know, I guess exciting as a spectator sometimes, but I can really just imagine for your point of view where it's just like that, and
Yeah, you kill them twice and they're still healthier than you. Like,
because they spawn. Yeah. But,
yeah.
so speaking of Zeneku and actually the opponents that you've had, the beginning of this stage for you, straight away with Rapha, Dehang, then you had Zeneku, and there was one particular game, I believe it was against Rapha, where you got clipped pretty good. But then you came back on Awoken, I think it was Awoken, and just like the next game, how can you go from one map where it's just like you got clipped pretty hard, and the next map you can just forget about what just happened, and you're able to go into the next. How do you able to do that as a competitor? Just like forget about it and go on to the next thing.
Uh, it's I guess like the more experience you have, the easier it is. But when I play against anybody, I just think, okay, that was just that game. Like I'm not gonna, I put it in the next mindset. Like I try to hype myself up, and I'm not gonna lose this one like that. I have to do like change something, and I got to do better.
Okay,
It usually
because
works out.
I think that's a real skill. I think it's a necessary skill for, or at least professional Quake players, and just anyone who plays Quake anyway. You want to win all the time, right? So it's very respectable to watch, a player. It's never like a given who's going to win each map all the time, and Quake can be pretty random. You can be up 5 frags, and then in 30 seconds you're down 1 frag. It's really hard to understand sometimes, but it's incredible. So, who you got left coming up for this stage, and how you feeling about your upcoming matches in the finals? What are you thinking?
I think I have it's Dramas, Effortless, Maxter, and I always forget the fourth player, but those are the three at least.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been a little frustrated because my internet has been up and down, and it feels very inconsistent. Like I know, like I can tell the something's wrong. I did change some settings, and I've played a little bit, and it feels okay now. But we'll have to see. Like I have to match by match, and we'll see. Maybe on game day might be different. I just have to be careful. But I do. I'm feeling like comfortable at least, not like worried or super confident. I just feel comfortable
Okay.
at the
So,
moment.
what kind of um, like what are you looking to, and what's your goal? Obviously, you want to hit the finals, you want to have a good showing, etc., etc. But um, you are right now. What are you looking to accomplish? What would you like to do?
It sounds a little depressing, but right now I don't want to get relegated first, and then
Yeah,
afterwards,
yeah.
afterwards I do want a boot camp. Maybe like in Texas. We'll have to see. I'm making some plans for that. That way, like that's like right now it's to not get relegated, but then after that is to do my best in the tournament. They're like the separate goals I have, and
Boot
hopefully
camping,
like I can reach them.
obviously with Rapha, or
Yeah, probably with Rafa.
that's cool.
Rafa down. Yeah, it'd be
Absolutely.
good.
Is there a actual ability to land with Quake? Like if you're right next to each other, you still have to connect to like a NA central server.
No, there's no. I mean, there is the LAN, but it's only like when they enable it, and they have to have a certain kind of server, and they're
Uh
not going to
huh.
give it out to everybody. So
Gotcha.
for now, it's just you LAN boot camp by just all hanging out together basically.
Gotcha. That's still more significant than trying to type in chat like, "What the fuck was that?" What happened here?
Oh,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
because if you watch the stream, sometimes Raph will just be like, "He should have done this." He'll just say it out loud or something. Maybe he can just say over his shoulder, "What are you doing, Psygib? You shouldn't be pushing here," or whatever he likes to say.
He just get up and smack me. It's like, what are you doing? And then just
Yeah.
sit back down, and I still lose.
That's an interesting thing. There's a lot of talk about, Quake, what it takes to be a great Quake player, and you have this camp over here where it's all like crack aim and whatever and whatnot. And then you look at what the most where the most success comes from, and as a spectator, it seems to be
Oops.
you're back.
Sorry about
It's
that.
all good. It's all good. As a spectator, it seems to be aim is cool, but if your movement is better than your aim, generally that's more desirable. But if your map control and awareness is better than both of those, that's even more desirable. What would you? How would you rank? I guess those three aspects, or what do you feel is most important?
Um, I would I would put like I guess I'll put movement, even though like I consider mechanics like aim and movement like together usually. I'll put movement up top, and then probably not like aim, but hitting like the important shots. Which it sounds like, kind of the same thing, but like
Right.
you like there's Rapha, I can always talk to him about it or watch him and he'll always explain how you can hit 3 rails on me right there. I just need to hit one and then, you lose the entire map anyway. So
That's
like
interesting.
those important shots.
Right. Now, does that
So like
come to map awareness then, or at least opponent awareness?
It's like a situation awareness of where
Okay.
like the item cycle, what's happening, where they're at, just putting it all together, and then you have that one shot or whatever shots you hit one or two, and then now like that one's either dead or they have this really difficult situation where they can't come out of that. Eventually, there will be a kill because of it,
Okay.
and then obviously map control at the end, which sounds
Okay.
weird, but that's what I prioritize.
No, that makes sense because I mean, again, always as a spectator, people love to compare Quake Live, Quake Champions. Quake Champions is easier because everything's 30-second timings and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
it always actually seems to be where okay, perhaps it's easier, but it's also really fucking easy to lose your ass in map control. Like you lose it and then you're done. Whereas Quake Live, eventually the items will cycle and spawn at the same time, and then there's a new fight for map control all over again. But like you're just imagine playing Anarchy on Molten, you're doing great, and then you just get slapped with that one rail that Raph was talking about, and then it just unravels from there.
Yep. Like even if you can get full map control, someone can just come in and hit a bunch of shots on you and then just move away, and now you can't, like, you just took everything on that side of the map. What do you do now, kind of thing?
So it
You kind of stuck.
also forces movement, I guess, perhaps. Like, it's really hard to think about this because playing Quake Live, there's that moment where the mega and the heavy, all that shit comes together because of the different timings, and
Right,
then where you
right.
could be like, okay, I'll just wait for this instant where I can sort of slip in at I'm guessing and fight for map control again. Whereas in Quake Champions, you kind of got to make it happen somehow. Does that make sense? Or would you agree? Or
Yeah.
you're just like ordering you're retarded, stop talking? I mean,
I see where you're getting at. I just think, like, for those shots, you need that movement, like, to get to those shots to set up, like, to do anything, you do need the movement. That's like the priority, at least, like, for anything to, like, if you want to map control, so you have to move around the map well so you don't take shots or get faster than your opponent does, or set up for shots, and etc.
gotcha. So that's where like the specialty things, like the if you're not using a slide champ or air control champs, the rocket jumps, the nail
Yeah, yeah,
jumps, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Quake Champions is a pretty here. This is a. I want to preface this question before people get uh, offended. So when I call Quake a niche game, I don't mean a shitty game. I just mean a niche game, as in it's a we've drilled down from the FPS genre to the arena FPS genre, right? And shockingly, it's not that popular right now. But what about Quake Champions? Even though it's a niche game, attracts you to it, and why do you stick with it? Why is it like there's Apex, right? There's all these other competitive style FPS games, but you're like, nope, I'm playing Quake. What about Quake just keeps you committed to playing Quake?
it it's honestly the most rewarding game. Like, I have played other games and I've tried to compete with them, but it always feels like I can't move well enough in this, like, or like in CS:GO, you can't really move that fast. Or, the aim isn't the same as Quake where you use your mechanics and then you get, the feedback from all the shots. There's no like good map control. It's all about sitting in one spot and then you move out slightly. It's never the same as Quake. It's just everything together is perfect for competing.
Is there any game at all? Do you think like Quake? I don't believe Quake is going anywhere. It's always going to have an audience. That's my personal opinion. But in this hypothetical situation, Sengair goes, "Yep, we're shutting the servers down. It's been fun." What would you do?
Well, first I would cry. Second, I don't know. I would probably like I wouldn't go back to Quake Live, not because I don't like it, but just because I think I've had more fun in QC and Sacrifice in like 2v2 and just constantly where it feels like it's always progressing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would really do much, like just play some games, maybe try to compete in another game, but I wouldn't do a whole lot after that. Like it's I
Yeah.
I wouldn't like move forward with anything. It's not the same without Quake.
I mean, I'm with you there. I mean, even though I'm just a little pub player, there's just nothing else that quite. I mean, you could have three awful games, and then you have the one game where just the stars align. You hit all your shots, movement's perfect, and then you want to keep on playing. That's kind of what it. It's kind of what it feels like, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see. What were, or perhaps still are, the hardest aspects of Quake Champions that challenge you the most?
Ooh, hardest aspects.
Specifically, Quake
Um,
Champions, because I think Quake
right.
Live and QC are significantly different from one another,
Yeah,
or
I do agree with
sufficiently.
that. I think getting used to the abilities, especially when they first came out, when they would instantly kill you, that was a
The
little bit of getting used
8,000
to.
damage orb. Yeah, buddy.
Um, good times. Good. Um, and I think that was the abilities and the movement. I didn't feel that was super difficult. Maybe the slash movement, the slash and Strog, getting used to those. But I've already done CPMA before, and Scale Blair, you just hold W. Like it's not that hard.
I can't play scale for shit, to be honest with you. I just it feels weird for me. I prefer Ranger or the crouch sliding. I
I,
suck
I
balls with Sorlag and Anarchy also.
I'll admit, yeah, scale is it's very counterintuitive. Where you're used to, you got a straight move. Like there's no movement. It's just hold W and look around. Like I'm playing COD right now. Like you're just holding
Right.
run and just running around
You know
basically.
what? That movement actually reminds me of Bad Company 2. Because you wouldn't strafe in Bad Company 2. You would hold W, and if you wanted to turn, you had to use your mouse. I just thought of that. I hated it. Doesn't make it any better, but I mean, yeah. But yeah, scale, yeah. So the abilities, um, let's talk about abilities. In 2021,
Okay.
it's been, well, it's going on the fourth year of QC. We've gone from having 19 hourglasses on ruins to like 6. All right. Where what do you think the abilities are like now? And uh, I mean, do you think we need some new champions? Does anything need to be tweaked? How do you feel in general about the game balance? And guys, we're not talking about pub games. We're talking about duels. Pub games are a completely different thing about abilities.
I I feel like most of them are balanced. I'm trying to think of like who would be like extremely difficult to deal with. I guess Galena, maybe her and Athena. That's it. Galena and Athena. I think they're the ones that need tweaking.
In
Galena's
what way
totem.
do you think?
So like Galena, her totems are good for vision and healing, and then if you hide, obviously if you hide them, you have the overstack.
Right.
So like those kind of three things. So you like throw it down, you can just heal yourself. You have it where it's okay, it's in this spot. Now if they go through there, you know exactly where they're at. And if they decide not to do either of those, they just hide them somewhere. Now they're like completely, you have to go find them, then fight for the items where they're probably already set up. And especially like the small hitbox, it's hard to fight her always. Like hitting her with LG and rail sometimes is very difficult. rockets are the easiest thing, and maybe shotgun. But if you're trying to fight mid or long range, that's the problem.
Difficult, yeah. So,
And then
and you
Athena,
would propose for the totems to what, like do less damage, or how? What do you think?
um, I don't know exactly how to fix that. Maybe like I miss the old ones where you could have 5 and then just make them do maybe less damage, like 10 damage each. But then, it kind of makes her a lot weaker than she is now. And I don't know, it's hard to like figure that balance out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe I guess maybe just make them glow a lot more, make a lot more noise so you can notice them easier.
Sure.
That's probably the best thing.
Yeah, they kind of sometimes when you're zipping around, they literally just blend in somehow. You would think like no one's gonna notice this. It's right in the middle of where you're running, and then you die somehow. But yeah, that's I just remember there's only a few things about Glen I remember, and that was just like the now infamous Razy Toxic match on Ruins, where basically Toxic chilled for the last 2 minutes up by nail gun, because I guess this is when that upper area on Mega still existed, and they was popping the totems up there. I don't remember, to be honest with you, what happened, but now the upper area is deleted from Ruins. But if people reload
Yep.
the map and you look above the eyeball, it's got those 2 levels, so the the picture still exists. But okay, but I guess with Athena, you're probably gonna say something so she doesn't die instantly.
No, if you have like a really good player, 3 hooks is way too many.
And you get them
That
really
that's
fast, actually.
Yeah, and you could just instantly use them too. So it's just like hook, 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 and like they completely avoid all your damage. So it's really annoying.
Well, there's this
Play
guy
Rapha
on
again.
Twitch, Hailstorm, I guess, who is
Oh yeah,
doing some redonk rope swings. Um, but it just seems to me like the rope swings are one thing, but then literally a rail and HMG and she's dead, like dead. So she's like,
that's the only that's
uh,
a saving grace. Yeah, she's squishy, like easy to kill, but like in combat when she's right next to you, she can just zip around you pretty quickly.
fair enough. I just don't see a lot of Athena lately. I guess it's just or maybe I missed those matches.
Oh no, that's probably because the tanks right now, like again, like because the 2-second respawn timers, they just kind of keep flooding, and Athena's not really able to deal with that unless it's like a Woken where she, has a lot of room to just maneuver and avoid damage,
Sure,
and
yeah,
sometimes deep embrace.
yeah, but it seems like the only like it's gonna be Anarchy often because of the inject, obviously.
Yeah,
And it
that's
seems to
great.
be of the light champs. It seems to be the one most chosen. Um, hardly ever see Slash anymore. Very
Yep.
rarely. Um, Tox isn't playing, and I believe it's Dramas.
Oh
People will ban that champ from him. He's pretty good with Slash. So
yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
have to see what happens. It would be interesting to see. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions because I would have no idea how to like you change this thing and then the entire relationship changes of all the other champs, and
It just breaks everything. Yeah.
it's even map specific sometimes. Like I say, like on sub maps, Sorleg is not a good call, but on CK, always a good call because no rail, fast movement, area denial, spit. You got to be on point with your HMG, like you were saying, and your movement, obviously. But
Yeah.
but I think that's what makes the game interesting. I kind of relate it to, as much as I can hate it sometimes, I kind of relate it to StarCraft Brood War, where there were just some maps that were just shitty for Terran, really good for Zerg, but then some other maps were shitty for Zerg, really good for Terran. So it's just anyway, it's not an automatic win if you were to pick Sorleg on CK anyway. Anything happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see what's your most. All right, here's a good one. What's your most memorable QPL moment? It can be from any of the stages. It could be something you did or something you saw. Just your most memorable QPL moment.
Memorable QPL moment. See, yeah, when I saw the question, I was thinking like quick QC moment, and I didn't think about it. I only thought about one match, but that was it before the QPL. I have to think about that for a second. QPL moment. I guess my most memorable is when I took a map off Rapha in the I think it was stage 4, like last stage 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty memorable.
that was, and then he went on for like a stage, and then Zeniku clapped him, and then so you and Zeniku on a very short list.
Yeah, the I guess the thing that stuck out for me the most is like it wasn't a close game. It was like 18-5 against them. Something like that. Like I was having a good game, and then he kind of adapted the next map and just cleaned up.
If you don't mind me asking, so adapted. Obviously, you remember the game. So, what did he do different the next game?
Um, the first time or the first map, he was very like aggressive. He wanted to be like, okay, like I know you're weak, so I'm gonna start pressuring you, and I'm take the items. So then I started hitting everything. There was
Nice.
actually a moment I remember I only had 26 cells and I hit all 26 LG cells on him, 100%ed. It's like I was just hitting all my rails, LG, like everything was connecting. So the next map, he didn't do that. He didn't look at me ever. I couldn't find him, and then he just pop up and kill me. And then it's just like from there, I couldn't get a foothold in the map. He kept taking everything from me.
Awesome. What was that match that you were thinking about right away that first came to your mind about the most memorable quick moment?
It was back when it was round duels, but it was DreamHack winner 2017, I think. Maybe it's 20 it was 2018. It was 2018. I remember now. It was Cooler versus Avic, and it was like the semifinals. And
Oh,
it
you're
was
gonna
only
talk
supposed to
about.
go.
I know which match you're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that the one it was supposed to be only like 30 minutes. It took like almost 2 hours.
Yep. I think that's why they got rid of those type of duels.
Yeah, because of that. But it was my favorite. Like it was so like because just everything they did was very like intentional, and there's micro decisions, and they were just very cautious. And I don't. It wasn't really passive because there was a lot of pressure and they were weak a lot of times. But it was just so close, just the
I mean,
entire
those
thing.
two dudes can. Well, Avic is Avic. I mean, he took it to Tox during Tox's heyday. Toxic and Cooler. I mean, is always that never goes down without
He's
a fight. So,
he's
but
cooler.
yeah, it's cooler, right? But yeah, okay. That was a sweet match, and I think all those matches are on YouTube, either on the official Quake channel. I don't remember anymore, but they're there. But you should
Yeah,
definitely go back and watch those old round based duels sometimes. A, because Quake looks totally different now. Like uh,
it's
all the
crazy.
graphics have been changed. The crosshairs are all different. There aren't 23 hourglasses on every map anymore. Um,
At times.
but were you guys playing Quake Champions like Quake Live in the beginning before you adapted?
Yeah, I won't lie. Like we valued Visor a lot, and even Ranger. I know like Europe didn't really play like well, I just say like yeah, like us, but like my team and then a few others would like value Ranger higher over some of the other champs, so we had to change it quite a bit because of that. Because we valued the vanilla movement and the side, and just like we're trying to get used to the abilities, but some of them were way better, and especially the movements like Zorlag was really good.
Yeah, yeah. The and Sorlake still has a very effective ability. I mean, even if you just use it for area denial, that's one thing. You get the blinding thing for a second or two on the screen. Um, Funnily enough, you blind yourself as Ranger when you orb out. I think that's kind of shitty. But
Yeah.
whatever that is. But good stuff. Uh, what do you think is the most important aspect for a Quake player to have?
I guess I'll go back to it. Just movement. Like I think movement is like priority. Like you don't have to have the best aim, but as long as you move extremely well, you can get to positions to set up for shots that are pretty easy. I
Okay.
guess to say, yeah.
How would you practice that? Would you jump into a custom game, jump around, uh, or just get into pubs, try to not get killed, basically?
Yeah, I for me like I didn't really learn movement a long time ago, but I gradually did just by jumping around, but also like I popped up defrag and queue a race and just started going at it. And I was doing terrible, but I learned how to move a lot better after that.
Is that transferable from Quake Live to like the Quake Live? Because those servers are still going. If you go to the server browser, they're still there. Is that transferable, or is QC sufficiently different enough where it's not?
No, I think it's slightly different, but it's basically the same mechanics, like the CPM and then the obviously the vanilla just left and right strafing. Only ones you have to learn would be like the slash and the learn the scale movement.
Oh yeah, right. The skill. DJ Wheat's favorite champion. Sorry about that. So that's the overall Quake. What do you think needs? You know what? Stop. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll do that question next. So these two. So this is a similar question. So what's the biggest piece of advice you would give? Not necessarily to a new Quake player, because obviously that's easy. But I mean, let's say you got a Quake player. He's teetering on the 2000, 1900, 2000 ELO range, and he's like, yeah, I want to start trying to get into challengers. I want to start see if I can get into the QPL. What's maybe your biggest piece of advice you would give that person?
Um, oof. I guess understanding what the important shots are because I'm assuming if they're like at 1900 2000 they have good movement, timing, map control, like aim, they can do all that, but just understanding where, what is the best like shots to take, like what's the ones that will gain you the most. 'Cause a lot of times players, they'll go in, they'll hit a lot of shots, but like it still wouldn't matter a lot. Like they'll get a lot of frags, but they're still losing in the long run.
So
So just the important.
the way that you explained it, basically the way I understand it is putting the full package together, putting all that stuff together to
Yeah,
round it
I
out.
guess. Yeah, yeah. I guess that makes a better way to explain it. Just like make sure you're well rounded out because you don't want to be like good in one area, like just movement, and then not hitting the important shots that you need to.
Okay. Because I mean, when for example you go from like 700 ELO to 1,000, that's a pretty big gap of people there, right? You go from 1,000 to 1,500, pretty big gap of people, and then but the numbers get smaller. 1,500 to 1,700 is like going from 700 to 1,500, and then 2,000 to 2,100 is like going from 700 to 1,700. You know what I
Right.
mean? The
Yeah.
competition is ridiculous. So I'm always very curious to, you guys in the QPL, what you would tell people who are at that particular level. I mean, because I don't think people understand. Like, it when we watch a match on QPL, sometimes the match is one sided. The dude just gets his ass kicked, but the guy who just got his ass kicked will go into any pub game, play left-handed inverted mouse blind, and beat the shit out of every pub server they go into. I mean, they are up here in terms of skill. So it's always very curious to hear what you guys think, what it takes to go from 2,000 to 2,400, and then after that,
Yeah.
it's kind
From
of
there.
immaterial. So round it out. So I guess you would mean try to find people who are better than you, obviously, or maybe pay to duel against Psygib, for example.
I would play people gladly for free. Like it's not an issue. But I know like I always like to see players get better because you'll see like I mean the aim will get slightly better, the movements will slightly get better, but then they'll hit that roadblock and it's just like it's main like that's mainly a mental thing, just like you're kind of like not sure exactly and you're too focused on not getting better rather than just playing and letting it naturally happen. That's what happened for me and I think a few other players I'd say just playing and you'll feel that get better. That the progress, that's the word I was looking for.
There you go. Let's piggyback off that. So, like, part B of that kind of goes back to how you were able to reset your mind after, Rapha pretty handily beating you. Is that something that you think someone can learn how to do to just let that go? Or is that got to be like, okay, I have no ego. We're just here to learn. We're here to get better. How is that trainable?
Um, I would say yes and no. I mean, like, no, because like not everyone can just be very calm when they play. Like they're very energetic. Like my demeanor is always just calm and chill, and the sunglasses. And I don't know if you ever saw that clip. I played Kilson, and I got those two really crazy frags with like 10 HP, and the whole time I was just like nothing happened for me. I didn't react, nothing. That's how I always am when I play.
The most emotion I've seen out of you would be the gaunt match. The gaunt match,
Yeah,
uh, which was awesome, by the way. There should be like a
that was
tournament
awesome.
somehow. What would you feel like, if QPL, for example, let's say I was a millionaire and I wanted to host a $5,000 Instagib tournament, would QPL players be interested in shit like that?
Five. I mean, maybe like the prize pool probably. A lot of them play just for I mean, I don't want to like talk bad about them, but a lot of them like the prize pool, so they'll play mainly for that. So they're like that's the priority. Like if it's a good prize pool.
But it would be something outside of dueling, like it's Instagib, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
not like
I think.
Instagib 1v1. It'd be like maybe a fucking 2v2 Instagib, something that would be, it would like raise the heart rate for sure. But I think it would be spectator interest would be high, for example.
I I think they would do that. Yeah, I could ask some of them.
All right, I need to get rich and then I'll host that tournament. Good, good stuff. Let's see what we skipped a question here. So, um, I don't particularly like to compare regions. You know what I mean? Like for as long as I can remember Quake, even in the '90s, all right, it was always like Europeans are better, and um, and then like
Yeah, we have to
Australia's a
remind them that they're
joke, you know. But I mean that goes without saying. However, though, is that is in the NA scene there are less people. I guess I don't know. I guess is what it appears to be, people playing Quake. Because for those who do not know, I live in Ukraine, and any time of the day I can load up Quake and play within 30 seconds. Anytime, 4 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock. It doesn't matter. But what do you think would have to happen in the NA side of things to maybe make Quake more interesting or more accessible, or get people to try it, at least to play it?
um I don't know. Like I feel like at this point it might be like I don't want to say too late for it to grow too much. Like it can grow, but it won't get to a numbers that we really want. But something like God, I don't even know what the concurrent numbers are right now for players. Maybe like that one weekend for E3 where 18,000, that was pretty good. That was because we put it out there and said, hey, Quake's still alive, and
Right.
then everyone jumped on. I think just doing that, like reminding everyone that Quake is still around and still kicking, people would come play. Like they love Quake, they know Quake, so
It
they would come
reminds
play.
me of hockey in America. Hockey, if you think about it, has fucking no marketing. I can't even tell you when the hockey games are, but I know when every baseball game is. I hate baseball, but I know when every game is. Football,
Basketball.
even the freaking Winter Olympics. But I have no idea when the hockey games are. But hockey always has like the dedicated hardcore fan base. Um, so maybe we
Yep.
just have to think that Quake is Quake and it'll never be above a particular threshold. I don't know, but I would like to see more people in general play. Obviously, from a selfish standpoint, and obviously as a professional, it would help you too, because the QPL is throwing around some decent prize pools. I mean, there's only 20 people, and I mean, and the prize pools like that, everyone's taking something home. Uh, so it would just be a question of marketing, or what would you think? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously I have no say in it, and every time we want to like bring it up, they like say, like it's just kind of like we're working on it kind of thing. But I
right?
think marketing would help and just always like something to like draw new players in like some because I don't like Clan Arena to draw new players in, but something that they'd all like enjoy to play and like something to help teach them.
So, but I think you're on the right track with something accessible, because I don't think that I think the gaming pendulum is swinging now, because I made a video on my YouTube, talking about just how unrewarding games like Call of Duty have become, where you don't even have kill streaks anymore. You have a score streak. All you got to do is join the game, you wait 3 minutes, and you get your fucking score streak now, regardless of really how you're doing in the game. I think maybe
That's
people are sort of getting tired of it.
Yeah, I can agree. Like, because it makes them. I mean, some players do like it. That's why there still is somewhat of a market for it. But if like you play for something for so long and it's still babying you, it kind of like isn't as rewarding as it should be. I didn't
Sure.
know that COD I didn't know that they had a score streak. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, they have score. They actually have a dynamic difficulty adjustment algorithm where it'll actually adjust your match experience mid-match. So if you're crushing it for the first half, the second half you will be crushing it no longer. Um, it's a bona fide Activision patent technology where they fuck with your aim, or it's really weird, but
I
it's
didn't know
real.
that.
Yeah, dynamic difficulty adjustment, otherwise known as skill based matchmaking. Quake has matchmaking, but as far as I can tell, it's just basically here's 4 people, and then they put them in a TDM game. You either get your ass kicked or you do the ass kicking, and you move on to the next game. It seems, but the ELO levels seem to make sense all the time, at least in my experience.
Yeah, they have like a hidden rating. I know that, and then I guess before it used to be a lot stricter. Like it was just basically this 100 points. Anybody in there will play in your game. But then they had to adjust it because no one was getting games because it was too strict.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, mm, most of the time it's pretty good. It seems to be better around the finals times, obviously, because more people play, so the games feel tighter. But then you
Yeah.
get some games where this is a true story. I get a 30 KDR on CK because the other team apparently doesn't even know where the jump button is. um, what's the? We already talked about that. So I think I can let you go now. You're probably tired of talking to me.
I've actually been having fun.
It's good. Yeah, you've said a lot of words today. We need to calm you down. All right. So you had a bye week, and you've had some time to chill. But I think next week, coming Sunday, you got Chain. So it's the duel of the aviators versus the ski goggles. So what's it like playing Chain? What do you gotta watch out for?
Um, it's annoying. he likes to he likes to not fight and just rail you and run away, and it's very frustrating. So
But
I'm
you
gonna
guys are on the
have a
same
fun time.
continent, so that helps. You'll have some good low ping
Yeah.
games. Um,
Well, no, because he's all the way like you have Canada all the way over here, and I'm all the way over here, like the complete opposites.
oh, so he's East Coast basically.
Yeah,
Ah, I forgot you're in California. My bad.
yeah.
Well, I think
So
basically you need to leave California.
that's what I'm told. I'm getting
Um,
offers.
getting offers. There you go. Yeah. So Chain, yeah, he seems to be really, really solid with the rail all the time. Um, always puts up a good fight. So that'll be a really good match. What would be your best picks again? I know you haven't done picks for bands yet. Won't be for a couple more days. But what would be like a solid, you know, picks and bands that you would love to see that you could play against Chain that you would feel pretty good?
um, I think just playing my comfort picks, nothing too crazy, like a Doom, BJ, Athena, Nyx, Visor, Ranger, just anything I normally play. As long as I'm on top of my game and like making sure I'm ready for him, then I should be okay, win or
What's the
lose.
what's the one map where you absolutely have to ban against Chain?
It was DM6, but now I don't even know. I don't know what he plays. Maybe Ruins, I guess. Ban Ruins against him. Or
Ruin,
Molten. Yeah, probably Ruins. Ruins for sure.
Ruins. Yeah, Ruins is sufficiently old enough now where it's been in the pool for so long. People have that pretty well mapped out. I mean, freaking Razy plays clutch on it for Christ's sake. So, uh, it's
Yeah.
pretty well mapped out. But I really hope to see you play some Exile. I love that map a lot. um, just love the
I'll leave it
silly ring
open.
outs. It's just fun as a spectator, really annoying as a player. Totally get it. Watching yourself slowly fall down, not be able to do shit
It's the
about
worst.
it.
It's not even an instant death like the other maps. It's just like you fall off and you're just slowly going down. It's like this is my life.
Psygib, dude, personally speaking, I always enjoy watching your streams. You're funny, dude. You're always very um, interactive with people who are watching you on Twitch. So I would really appreciate it if you gave your Twitch out. If you got a Twitter, OnlyFans, whatever you want to get out, you can go ahead and share it here. I'll put it. I'll put links down below for people to go follow you and watch you. Highly recommend checking out Psygib when he's streaming. Really chill guy, funny guy. He's comments a lot when he's playing. I think you'll find it kind
We'll
of
call
funny.
it comments, yeah.
You know, oh hello, oh hi, hello, oh what the fuck, oh hello, hi,
What was that?
oh
Yeah,
okay, yeah, that's good stuff. But I really appreciate you taking the time. Honestly, I know I'm just a fucking pleb who likes to watch Quake, but it big honor to have you here. I really appreciate it. So I'll give the last words to you. Again, post your links. Tell us what where we can find you, how we can watch it, and what's the best way to support you.
All right, so goodbye, everyone. My Twitch is twitch.tv/Psygib. Twitter is at PsyGibGG. Support me, just come watch me, cheer me on. That's I don't want to ask more. Like if you want to sub to me, maybe once in a while, fine. But I don't want donations or anything. Just come enjoy my content. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Do it. Highly recommend it. He's a lot of fun. And ask questions. He actually will answer them. And I'll be waiting to see your game against Chang. I think it's going to be off the chain, as they would say.
Yep. And don't forget my OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Top Psy Gun.
Psych. Awesome, dude. All right, man. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you soon, man.
All right. Goodbye.